Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to my 1949 season replay on Out of the Park Baseball. As you can see on your screen, I have a tight pennant race in play going on right now, with Philadelphia and Detroit tied for first in the American League, with Boston only a half game out, Cleveland out behind by 2 games, the White Sox out by 4.5, and the Yankees still in it, 6 games out. National League, not quite as close, really a three-team race with Brooklyn, St. Louis, and New York in that order. So there's some good matchups to replay for June 14th, and I'm going to get to some of those now. So Detroit and Philadelphia is going to be the game that I showcase tonight and broadcast for you. But in the meantime, I'm going to do some quick plays here and get some of these other games updated. Cleveland played Boston that day in Boston with Bob Feller on the mound for Cleveland, Joe Dobson for the Red Sox. And the Red Sox in our replay win the game 4-1. Joe Dobson, the winner, moves to 8-3. Bob Feller takes the loss 6-2. There were no homers in that game. Chicago was in Yankee Stadium to play the Yankees. Bill White on the mound for the White Sox, Vic Raschi on the mound for the Yankees. And the Yankees came out on top 12-5, sparked by Yogi Berra's 8th home run of the season. Raschi gets the win. He's now 7-6. White takes the loss. He is now 5-4. Player of the game, Yogi Berra. Detroit and Philadelphia will be the game we will go through here momentarily. St. Louis was at Washington. Joe Ostrowski was on the mound for the Browns. Mickey Hafner on the mound for the Nationals. And the Nationals taking on the chin to the Browns 9-4. Ostrowski moves to 3-0. Hafner to 2-6. A young Sherm Lawler hits his 4th home run for the Browns. Stan Spence hits his 7th home run for the Nationals. Player of the game, Sherm Lawler. So that takes care of all the American League action. In the National League, Philadelphia was at Chicago with Russ Meyer on the mound for the Phillies and Bob Moncrief on the mound for the Cubs. Phillies came out on top with a 4-0 shutout of the Cubs. Meyer gets the win. He's now 4-6. Moncrief takes the loss, 1-4. Willie Jones hits his 9th home run for the Phillies. The Player of the Game award going to Russ Meyer. New York was in Cincinnati to play the Reds. Larry Jansen on the mound for the Giants, and he faced Ernie Allrat for the Reds. And in our replay, the Giants win in 10 innings, 3-2. Jansen gets the win. He's now 8-1. Randy Gumpert gets the loss. I believe that's correct. Yeah, Harry Gumpert. I'm sorry. Harry Gumpert gets the loss. He is now 0-4. Wes Westrom hit his first home run of the season for the Giants. Bobby Thompson hit his 10th homer for the Giants. Boston was at Pittsburgh, the Braves facing the Pirates. Bob Hall took the mound for Boston against Bob Chesney for the Pirates. And in the replay, the Pirates squeak by the Braves 1-0. Chesney gets the win. He moves to 5-3. And Bobby Hogue gets the loss in relief. He is now 0-2. Believe that's Hugh Casey getting the save for the Pirates. That is his 10th save of the season. And Chesney will get the Player of the Game honors in that one. So since Brooklyn and St. Louis are the top two teams in the National League, I'm going to save that game for a actual replay at another date this week. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and play Detroit and Philadelphia. Virgil Trucks is going to be on the mound for the Tigers. Carl Scheib on the mound for the Athletics. And here are your lineups for Detroit. Don Callaway is going to lead off and play second base. Paul Campbell will bat second and play first. George Kell will play third base and hit third. Vic Wertz will bat cleanup and play right field. Hoot Evers will be in left field hitting fifth. Aaron Robinson will bat sixth and catch. Johnny Groth will be in center field batting seventh. Johnny Lippon will be the shortstop hitting eighth. And Virgil Trucks with a 9-3 record and a 2.38 earned run average is going to be on the mound for the Tigers. For the hometown Philadelphia Athletics, Eddie Juice is going to lead off and play shortstop. Wally Moses will bat second and play right field. Ferris Fain will play first base and hit third. Sam Chapman will play center field and hit cleanup. Hank Majeski will be the third baseman hitting fifth. Elmer Vallo will be in left field hitting sixth. Pete Suter will be at second base hitting seventh. Mike Guerra will be the catcher hitting eighth. And Carl Scheib, who comes into the game with a 4-1 record and a 3.0 ERA, will pitch and bat ninth. So let's get this game underway. From Philadelphia, we have the Detroit Tigers facing the Philadelphia Athletics. So Don Callaway will lead off for the Tigers. He is hitting .273, no homers, 18 runs batted in. Carl Scheib is on the mound for the A's. And we're underway. And here's the 1-1 pitch to Callaway. And Callaway hits it to the right side. And that's going to get through past the second baseman for a base hit. And Callaway has a leadoff single for Detroit. Here's Paul Campbell, the first baseman. Campbell, .262 on the season, no homers, 15 runs batted in. Callaway down at first. He has 3 stolen bases this year. Scheib with a 3-0 pitch. Campbell squares to bunt, but does not hit it. And that's ball 4. So Campbell took a 2-0 pitch for a ball as he squared to bunt and then ended up eventually walking there. So we have runners on first and second now with nobody out for George Kell. Kell hitting .324 with 2 homers and 33 runs batted in. Athletics and Scheib in a little bit of trouble here. 2 on with nobody out. A 1-1 pitch to George Kell, and Kell lifts it to left, but Vallo is there to catch it. Yes, Vallo is there to catch it for the first out. Here's Vic Wertz. Wertz is hitting .320, 4 homers, 40 runs batted in. Early in his career here for the Tigers. So here's Wertz, left-handed power, and he has 2 strikes against him now. Scheib with the 0-2, and then he's going to strike him out on a called third strike. So Wertz sits down with 2 runners still on base and 2 outs for Hoot Evers. Evers is hitting .351, 2 homers, 23 runs batted in. 2 outs, 2 on. Scheib with the 1-2 pitch to Evers, and Evers is going to dunk it into right field for a base hit, falls in front of the right fielder, and 1 run is going to score as Callaway comes around third. And Detroit takes the lead 1-0 on the Hoot Evers single. Here's Aaron Robinson, left-handed hitting catcher, hitting .287, 4 homers, 27 runs batted in. Paul Campbell down at second. Hoot Evers is over at first with 2 outs. Scheib with the 2-2 pitch to Robinson, and that's going to be grounded to second. Throw over to first, and Robinson is retired. But the Tigers get a run on 2 hits. And we move to the bottom of the first with Philadelphia up and down 1-0. Here's Eddie Juice. Juice is hitting .284. He has 9 homers, 36 runs batted in. Virgil Trucks, 9-3 with a 2.38 earned run average. So here's Juice with a full count pitch from Virgil Trucks. Here's the wind and the pitch. Juice is going to rip it into center field for a base hit. And Eddie Juice continues his hot hitting. And here's Wally Moses. Moses hitting .316, no homers, 14 runs batted in with some power. Left-handed batter, veteran, Wally Moses. He's going to bunt it. And unfortunately for Moses, that ball is caught by charging Paul Campbell for the first out. So Juice remains at first. And here's Ferris Fain, who is also on a hitting tear right now. .364 for Ferris Fain. No homers, but 31 runs batted in. Left-handed batter, 1 out. Juiced on first. Here's a 1-0 to Fain. And Fain hits it hard to second base. They go to shortstop. Goes to the shortstop to get the leading runner, but there's only one play there. Callaway to Lippon. And we now have 2 outs. And Chapman is now up. Sam Chapman, center fielder. 8 homers, 55 runs batted in so far. He is hitting .270. So Trucks has 2 outs with the runner at first for Chapman. And Chapman swings and misses on a 2-2 pitch. And that retires to side. Philadelphia leads 1 man on. And we move to the top of the second with Detroit still up 1-0. Here's Johnny Grove. Grove off to a good start. .333 on the season. 5 homers, 34 runs batted in. Grove to face Scheib. 1-2 pitch to Johnny Grove. And that ball is slammed into left field for a base hit. Valo is up with it and gets the ball back in. So Johnny Grove is now on first for Johnny Lippon. Lippon is hitting .247, 1 homer, 19 runs batted in. Here's Lippon, right-handed hitter. Runner on first, nobody out. Lippon, 2-2 pitch, and that ball is going to get hit into center field for a base hit. Grove is taking third and stands up, and the runners are on first and third now for Detroit with nobody out, and Virgil Trucks coming up to the plate. Trucks is hitting .135, but he has 7 runs batted in. So let's see if he can get something, help himself out here. Infield at double play depth. Here's Trucks, and he squares and misses. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Trucks bunts it. Fielded by Scheib. 1 play to first. And that's 1 out. With Johnny Lippon now down at second base. So we have a base empty at first. Grove at third. Lippon at second with 1 out for Don Callaway. Callaway singled his last time up. Wind in the pitch, and that ball is hit to left, but Valo is going to settle under and make the play, rushes the throw back in, and the run is unable to score. So that ball was not hit deep enough by Callaway. And here's Paul Campbell. Campbell walked his last time. 2 outs. 1-0 pitch to Paul Campbell. And Campbell hits it to left, short left field, and Juice is out. Juice is out there to make that play for the third out. So the Tigers get two runners on, but are unable to bring them in, and Scheib gets out of it, and they still lead 1-0. So here's Hank Majeski for the Athletics. Majeski hitting .264 with 4 homers, 37 runs batted in. Trucks with a 3-1 pitch to Majeski, and Hank Majeski is going to get a walk, and he goes down to first. Here's Elmer Valo, a veteran, .298 on the season, 3 homers, 19 runs batted in. Valo, left-handed batter, and that ball's hit straight up the middle for a base hit. And the throw is going to go to third, and Majeski is going to be safe, and Valo takes second on the throw. So he should be credited with a single on that, and advances on the throw over to third. So we have second and third now with the A's trying to stir some things up here with nobody out for Pete Suter. Suter, .305 average with 6 homers and 35 runs batted in. This Philadelphia lineup is very solid. So second and third with nobody out. Trucks in a little bit of a jam here. So Virgil Trucks swings, and it's a ground ball, but Callaway cannot come up with it. That is going to be an error. And Hank Majeski is going to score with Elmer Valo moving to third. And we have a tie game, 1-1. And here's Mike Guerra. Guerra hitting .287, 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. Guerra with a 1-0 pitch, and that ball is ripped to center for a base hit. The run scores, and Philadelphia takes the lead 2-1 on a Mike Guerra single. And here's Carl Scheib. Suter down at second, Guerra at first, with nobody out for Carl Scheib. Now Scheib is hitting .158 on the season, but does have a run knocked in. Nobody out. Chance for Philadelphia here to put some runs on the board. Let's see what Scheib decides to do. 0-1, he squares. He now has an 0-2 count on him, and he is going to take a call third strike on a 2-2 pitch on the inside corner. And so that's the first out in the inning for Philadelphia. So here's Eddie Juice. Juice, 1 for 1. 2 on, 1 out. 2-1 Athletics. Here's Juice with a full count, and that ball is hit to second, right behind second base, but Lippon goes out for it behind the second base bag to make the play, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. And here's Wally Moses. Moses is 0 for 1 with a chance here where a 2-out hit. Left-handed batter, and he's going to take ball 4 on 4 straight pitches thrown by Virgil Trucks. So now the Athletics have the bases loaded for Ferris Fain. Fain on a hot streak right now, but he's 0 for 1 today. Now hitting .362. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-2 pitch to Ferris Fain, and Fain just shoots one through the right side for a base hit. And 2 runs are going to score on that, as Ferris Fain drives them in with a single, and the Athletics now lead 4-1. Sam Chapman now up, 0 for 1, 2 on, 2 out, 4-1 Athletics. 2 strikes to Chapman, and Chapman hits a long fly ball to center field. However, Groth is back for it and makes the play for the third out. But Philadelphia strikes with 4 runs in the inning on 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left on. And we move to the top of the third with the Tigers down 4-1. Here's George Kell. Kell is 0 for 1 of the day, now hitting .322. Scheib with a bit of a lead here. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Here's Kell. Full count. Kell grounds it short. And just up with it over to Fame for the first out. Here's Vic Wertz. Wertz 0 for 1, now hitting .318. Full count to Wertz from Scheib, and that's going to be ball 4. Wertz takes first base. Here's Hoot Evers. Evers had to hit his last time up and knocked in the only run so far for Detroit. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Evers. Another full count to Evers. And Evers hits it to center field, but Chapman is going to be under it to make the play for 2 outs. And here's Aaron Robinson. Robinson 0 for 1 on the day. 1-0 pitch to Aaron Robinson. And Wertz is going down. The second is going to steal second base. And let's see how many stolen bases that is for him. That's his second stolen base of the season. So Aaron Robinson with the runner in scoring position with 2 outs and a ran on. 2-2 pitch to Robinson, and he grounds it down to Suter. Suter over to Fame for the final out. So we move now to the bottom of the third with the Athletics up 4-1. Virgil Trucks has now thrown 50 pitches in this game. So here's Majeski, walked his last time. Oh to Majeski. Majeski is going to get a solid single to center field. So he has his first hit of the day. And the Athletics have their leadoff man on for Elmer Valo. Valo 1 for 1, now hitting .302. Valo, ground ball to the right, over to shortstop, over to first. And the Tigers pull off a 4-6-3 double play. Callaway to Lippon to Campbell. And that's all of a sudden 2 outs. And here's Pete Suter. Suter 0 for 1. He takes a 1-0 pitch, and Suter's going to hit it down to second. But Callaway can not get the throw over there in time, and Pete Suter legs out an infield single. And so the A's have a runner on with 2 outs for Guerra. And Guerra had a big hit last inning, driving in a run. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Mike Guerra, the catcher, 2 outs for the Athletics. Runner on first. Guerra with a 1-2 pitch, driven to right, but Wertz is under it to make the play, and that retires the side. So we go to the fourth with the Athletics still up 4-1. Here's Johnny Grove. Grove is hitting .337. 5 homers, 34 runs batted in now. He is 1 for 1 on the day. Grove to face Scheib. Scheib with an 0-1 pitch to Johnny Grove, and Johnny Grove rips it down the right field line for a base hit. That's going to go into the corner, and Grove is going to stop at second with a double. So Johnny Grove hits one down the right side for a double. And so the Tigers have their leadoff man on for Johnny Lippon. Lippon is 1 for 1 on the day. 3-1 pitch from Scheib. Lippon lifts it to deep left. That ball's going to get into the gap, hit the wall. Grove easily scores, and Lippon is going to find himself at third base, sliding in with a triple. Lippon just knocked in his 20th run of the year, and the Tigers cut the lead to 4-2. Johnny Lippon with a triple. So here's Virgil Trucks with a runner on third and nobody out. Trucks today walked his first time up. Trucks swings. That ball's hit deep. But the left fielder is there, Elmer Valo, and Trucks drives in a run with a sacrifice fly as Lippon scores from third, and all of a sudden the Tigers are back in it, and it's 4-2-3. 1 out for Don Callaway. Callaway is 1 for 2 on the day. Nobody on, 1 out, 4-3 Athletics. Callaway up, 2-2 pitch. Callaway with a clean single to center. That ball's going to get right past second base. And Callaway now has his second hit of the day. That is the 7th hit on the day. 7th hit of the day for Detroit. So here's Campbell. Campbell 0 for 1 officially. This is his third time up, and an 0-1 pitch, and he's going to bunt it. Guerra goes out for it, throws it down to first to Ferris Fain, and they get the out, 2-3. But we have Callaway down at second now with 2 outs for George Kell. Kell on the day 0-4-2. Scheib with a 1-0 pitch to George Kell. George Kell is going to hit it through the shortstop for a base hit. Callaway is going to come around to score. And all of a sudden, we have a tie game here with George Kell getting a hit and ending up at second base. And it's 4-4 for Vic Wertz. 2 outs. Wertz 0-for-1 on the day. Scheib with a pitch, and there's Wertz, drills it to right, but Wally Moses is there to field it. But the Tigers come up with 3 runs in the inning to tie this game up on 4 hits. And it's now 4-4. Carl Scheib to lead it off for Philadelphia. 0-for-1 on the day. Virgil Trucks out there. He's thrown 58 pitches in this game, and we're in the 4th inning. Trucks with a 1-2 to Scheib, and Scheib is going to hit a nice one to center, but that ball is going to be caught by Johnny Grove for the first out. So here's Eddie Juice. Eddie Juice continuing to hit well. He's 1-for-2 on the day. He's now got his average up to 286. 1-2 pitch to Eddie Juice from Virgil Trucks, swing and a miss. That is Virgil Trucks' 3rd strikeout of the day. Here's Wally Moses. Moses is 0-for-1 officially. Left-handed hitter. 0-2 pitch, popped him up, and let's see who's going to get it. That is going to be Johnny Lippon is going to make that play, and the Tiger. Philadelphia goes down 3 up and 3 down. So we move to the top of the 5th and a score, 4-4 tie score. Here's Hoot Evers. Evers is 1-for-2 with an RBI. He's raised his average to 353. Scheib has already thrown 89 pitches in this game. We'll see how long he can last. So here's Evers with a chance to put his team ahead. Evers going to slice one to right for a base hit. 2nd hit of the day for Hoot Evers. Ball gets thrown back in, and the Tigers have their leadoff man on with Aaron Robinson now up. Robinson 0-for-2 on the day. Here's Robinson. Pitch, that ball is going to be hitting to right and dunked in front of the right fielder Moses, and Evers is going to stop at second. So 1st and 2nd now with nobody out for Johnny Grove. Grove is perfect on the day, 2-for-2. He's now hitting 340. So runners on, nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Johnny Grove, and Grove hits a long fly ball to left center field, and the ballpark will not hold it. A 3-run homer for Johnny Grove. He hits his 6th home run of the season, driving in 3 runs, and all of a sudden Detroit is on top 7-4. Johnny Grove with a 3-run homer to deep left center field, and it's 7-4 Detroit. And we have a reliever now in for the Athletics. Bill McCahan is in now for Philadelphia with Johnny Lippon up with nobody out. Johnny Lippon, 2-for-2 on the day. He's perfect, hitting now 256. So here's McCahan. Lippon is going to get a walk. McCahan comes into this game 1-2 with a 3.72 earned run average. So Virgil Trucks, the 9-hitter, is now up. No official plate appearances yet, but he's going to bunt it. But he bunts it right out to the pitcher, so McCahan catches the bunt, and Lippon is still at first. So here's Don Callaway. Callaway is 2-for-3 on the day. He's raised his average to 282. One out, one on. McCahan to Callaway, and Callaway is going to pop it up to the catcher for the second out. And here's Campbell, Paul Campbell. Campbell is 0 for 1 officially at the plate today. McCahan out there trying to get out of this inning. 2 outs, 1 runner on. Paul Campbell, 1-0 pitch for McCahan, and McCahan lifts it up on the infield. But Fain is over to make the play. And that ends the inning. 3 big runs on the homer by Johnny Grove, and it's now 7-4, moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ferris Fain up 1 for 2 with 2 ribbies on the day. Trucks has now thrown 69 pitches in this game. Left-handed hitter Fain. 2-2 to Fain. Opposite field blast. That ball is going to leave the ballpark, and Ferris Fain hits an opposite field home run 381 feet into the second deck, and the Athletics get a run back, and it's now 7-5. Here's Sam Chapman. Chapman 0 for 2 on the day. Here's Trucks. Pitch to Chapman, and that ball is going to go out to the shortstop, Johnny Lippon, for the first out. Here's Majeski. 1 for 1 officially today for Majeski. He's been on base at least one more time. Here's Majeski. Ground ball down to shortstop. Lippon over to Campbell for the second out. And here's Elmer Vallo. Vallo 1 for 2 on the day. He's raised his average to 301. Playing left field, Vallo full count, and Vallo hits it down to second. Callaway is going to get it over to Campbell for the third out, but the Athletics get a run on the Fain homer, and that was Ferris Fain's first home run of the season as well. And it's now 7-5 game. So here's George Kell. Kell 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Bill McCann still out there for the Athletics. 6th inning, 2-2 pitch to George Kell, and here it comes, and Kell swings and misses, and that is McCann's first strikeout of the day. Here's Vic Wertz 0 for 2, looking for his first hit. McCann 1-1 pitch to the right fielder Vic Wertz, and Wertz is going to slice one over into left field for a base hit. Vallo up with it, gets it back in, and Vic Wertz has his first hit of the day with a line drive single to left field. So here's Evers. Evers having a great day, 2 for 3 with an RBI, now hitting 358. So here's Evers. Little ground ball back to the pitcher. McCahan going to throw it down to second, and they get the lead runner. So Evers safe on the fielder's choice. McCahan 1-6 on that one. And there's 2 outs with Aaron Robinson now up. Robinson 1 for 3 on the day. McCahan with a 2-2 pitch, and Robinson hits it to center, but Chapman is standing there for it. Moves just a couple of steps to his left to make the play, and we move to the bottom of the 6th with a runner left on. Detroit still up 7-5. So bottom of the order up. Suter, Guerra, and then we'll see whether or not they lift him for a pinch hitter. So Suter is 1 for 2 with an RBI. Trucks has thrown 84 pitches in this game. 0-0 pitch to Pete Suter, and Suter drills it to center field. But Growth is under it to make the play for the out. Here's Mike Guerra. Guerra having a good day, 1 for 2 with an RBI, now hitting 292. Guerra, 2-1 pitch, hit to right, and that's going to squirt through for a base hit, and Guerra has his second hit of the day and is now on first. And McCahan is going to stay in the game. I'm not sure why the AI would do this with 2 runs down, but McCann's going to stay in, and he is going to pop up to the third baseman. That, of course, is George Kell, and that's 2 outs now for the Athletics. And here's the leadoff hitter, Eddie Juice. Juice is 1 for 3 on the day. So Juice swings and misses on an 0-2 pitch, and Trucks gets his 4th strikeout of the day, with Philadelphia leaving a man on. And we move to the top of the 7th. 7-5 Detroit. Johnny Grove now up. Grove is 3 out of 3 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Grove is 4th in the American League in runs scored with 42. Here's McCahan pitching now in his 3rd inning of the day. And he has a 2-0 count on Johnny Grove. And Grove is going to get another hit. That ball is going to trickle into right field, right past the second baseman, Suter, for a base hit. So 4 for 4 on the day for Johnny Grove. And here's Johnny Lippon. Lippon is 2 for 2 as well. Perfect on the day, 1 RBI. 13 hits in the game now for the Tigers. With a runner on first and nobody out. Lippon with an 0-1 pitch. That ball's drilled to left, but Valo is there for it to make the play for the first out. Here's Trucks. Virgil, 0 for 1, but has an RBI. His 8th now for the Tigers. 1-0 pitch to Trucks, and he bunts it down the third base line. And that ball is picked up by Majeski, thrown over to Fain for the second out. But that advances Johnny Grove down to second for a 2-out chance here for Don Callaway. Callaway's had a good day also, 2 for 4 at the plate. So McCahan tries to get out of this. He has a 2-0 count on Callaway, and Callaway hits it down to third, but Majeski's up with it over to Fain for the out. And that retires the side. So we move to the 7th inning stretch. 7-5 Detroit. Wally Moses is up. Virgil Trucks still out there. He's thrown 93 pitches in this game. Moses 0-2, looking for his first safety. Here's Moses with an 0-2 pitch, and he swings and misses for strike 3. Virgil Trucks now with 5 strikeouts today. He has 70 for the season. Here's Ferris Fain. Big day for Fain. He's got a homer, 3 RBIs, 2 hits, and 3 trips up. Solo homer in the last inning. So here's Trucks to face Fain, who's given him problems today, and he walks him on a 3-2 pitch for ball 4. And so Sam Chapman is now up. Chapman is 0 for 3 on the day, way overdue. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Chapman. And in the process, Fain steals second. That's his 2nd stolen base. I'm sorry, that's his 9th stolen base of the year. And here's Chapman with a runner in scoring position in a 3-1 count with 1 out. And here's the pitch. And Chapman is going to hit a kind of a slow roller over to shortstop. But Lippon is up with it, throws it over to Campbell to get the runner for the 2nd out. And with 2 outs, here's Hank Majeski. Majeski 1 for 2 on the day. Fain down at second. 2 outs, 7-5 Detroit. 0-2 count on Hank Majeski. And Majeski is going to rip it to left. An 0-2 pitch hits it to left field for the base hit. Evers all the way home with the throw, but he does not get him. And Fain stands up and scores the 6th run of the day for the Athletics as Majeski drives in his 38th run of the season. And all of a sudden we have a 1-run game, 7-6, 2 outs for Elmer Valo. Valo 1 for 3. Majeski at first, 2 out, 3-2 pitch to Valo. Valo grounds at the second. Callaway over to Campbell for the play, but the Athletics get a little bit closer and whittles this lead down to 7-6. So McCahan is still on the mound for Philadelphia. He is now going to be pitching his 4th inning in relief. He's only given up 2 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 1. So here's Paul Campbell. Campbell 0 for 2 officially today. Leadoff man on for Detroit 3-0 pitch, and that ball is going to miss inside for ball 4. So McCahan walks Campbell. So a runner on first for George Kell. Kell is 1 for 4 on the day with 1 RBI, now hitting .322. 2-2 pitch to Kell, and that ball is going to be hit up in the middle under the glove of the second baseman. And the runner is going to go try to get down to third, and it looks like he made it. Or was he out? Nope, he was thrown out. So they did throw the runner out at first. Campbell thrown out. So Kell is down at second with 1 man out for Vic Wertz. Wertz on the day 1 for 3, now hitting .320. Chance for an RBI here. Wertz lifts one to right field. That ball is going to clear the fence 397 feet. And all of a sudden, Detroit is up 9-6. 5 homers on the year for Vic Wertz. He now has 42 runs knocked in. And it's now 9-6 Tigers. Here's Hoot Evers. Evers is 2 for 4 with an RBI. McCahan's still out there. Evers is going to rip run right up the middle for a base hit, his 3rd hit of the day. And he's going to round first and stop. So the Tigers have a man on with 1 out and a 3-run lead for Aaron Robinson. Robinson is 1 for 4. Here's Aaron Robinson. Evers is going to try to steal second. He's going to make it in there safely. Evers with his 2nd stolen base on the year. So here's Robinson with a runner in scoring position and an RBI opportunity with 1 out. McCahan still out there for the Athletics. Here's Robinson with a full count. He grounds it down to Suter. Suter's over to Fain to make the play. And Hoot Evers moves down to 3rd. So Robinson grounds out and moves the runner over to 3rd. Here's Johnny Grove. Big day at the plate for Johnny Grove. 4 for 4, a homer and 3 runs batted in. He's raised his average to .347. McCahan, see if he can get him out. Nobody has been able to get Johnny Grove out today. So here's a 1-1 to Grove, and Grove is going to shoot it down to the shortstop deep, but Juice is up with it, makes a good throw, and that retires the side. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Tigers with a home run by Vic Wertz, and they now have a 9-6 lead. They have banged out 16 hits today against Philadelphia pitching. And here's Virgil Trucks. So Trucks has thrown 123 pitches through 7 innings, and he is still out there on the mound. So here's Pete Suter to lead it off for Philadelphia, to be followed by Guerra, and surely there'll be a pinch hitter brought up for McCahan. So here's Suter, 1 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the wind and the pitch from Virgil Trucks, and Suter lifts one to left field, but Evers is under it, makes the play, 1 man out. Here's Mike Guerra. Guerra, 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI. 9 hits now for the Athletics. Trucks to Guerra, and Guerra grounds it to 3rd to Kell. Kell over to Campbell for the 2nd out. And Taffy Wright, veteran outfielder, is going to come up and pinch hit with 2 outs here in the 8th. Taff Wright hitting .292, and Wright is going to pop it up to the catcher for the 3rd out. Wright came into the game hitting .292 with 13 runs batted in, so that retires the side for the Athletics. And Bubba Harris is going to be on the mound for Philadelphia here in the 9th. Harris is 0-1 with a 2.49 ERA. So here's Johnny Lippon. Lippon, 2 for 3, 1 RBI. We'll see if the AI takes Trucks out of the game when the 9th spot in the order comes up. Here's Lippon with a full count against him. And Bubba Harris throws, and Lippon is going to push one into right field for a base hit. His 3rd hit of the game. And the Tigers have their leadoff man on again. And up steps to the plate Pat Mullen, the veteran outfielder, for this Detroit Tiger organization. In part-time play, Mullen is hitting .267 with a homer and 9 runs batted in. Bubba Harris up to face a left-handed hitting Pat Mullen. Mullen, that ball is going to get past the catcher all the way down to second is Lippon. And now Pat Mullen has a runner on second with nobody out. 9-6 lead for the Tigers. 2-2 pitch to Pat Mullen, and that's a called third strike. Bubba Harris gets his first strikeout of the day. That gives him 4 on the season. Here's Don Callaway. Callaway with a good day, 2 for 5 now. He's up to his average to 278. 1 out. Callaway is going to hit a line drive down to left field for the base hit. Valo can't handle it. The ball gets by him. Lippon's going to come all the way around to score, and Callaway is going to get a single and advance to second on the error by Omar Valo. And Detroit now leads 10-6. They have 18 base hits in this game. So Bubba Harris to face Paul Campbell with 1 out. Campbell 0 for 2 officially on the day. And Campbell hits it to short right field. But Suter is back for it to make the play for the second out. Here's George Kell, 2 for 5 on the day with an RBI for Kell. 10-6 Detroit. Harris on the mound. Callaway at second, 2 outs. 0-0 pitch to George Kell, and Kell hits a ground ball down to Suter. Suter with it over to Fame for the third out. So Lou Kretlow is now in the game for Detroit out of the bullpen. Kretlow is 2-4 with a 6.51 earned run average, 31 walks, and 17 strikeouts. Here's Eddie Juice, shortstop. 1 for 4 on the day. He's hitting .284. So Juice, Moses, and Fame to face Kretlow. Kretlow, full count to Eddie Juice. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that is going to miss inside, ball 4. So here's Wally Moses. Moses is hitless, 0 for 3 on the day. Left-handed hitter, Moses, and that ball is going to get past the catcher, Aaron Robinson, and the runner is going to go down to second. That's going to be charged as a wild pitch. So Juiced is down at second for Wally Moses. Again, Moses 0 for 3. Kretlow on the mound. 2-0 pitch to Wally Moses, and Moses hits it to the second baseman, Don Callaway, right by the bag. Pop up, 1 out. Ferris Fain now up. Fain, 2 for 3 on the day with a homer and 3 RBIs. Full count to Ferris Fain. Here's the wind and the pitch, and Fain hits it sharply down to second. Callaway has it, throws it over to Campbell for the second out. And here's Sam Chapman. No hits on the day, 0 for 4 for Sam Chapman. Chance with the runner at third here with 2 outs in the ninth to keep this game alive. Lou Kretlow on the mound. Sam Chapman has a 3-2 count against him with 2 outs. Here's the wind and the pitch, and Chapman is going to hit one right over the first baseman, Campbell, into right field for a base hit. The run scores. It's now 10-7. Detroit, with Chapman getting his first hit of the day and an RBI. Here's Majeski. Majeski with a good day, 2 for 3. Athletics now have 10 hits. So Kretlow trying to get out of it here. Majeski now hitting .269 on the season. Wind in the pitch, and that ball is going to fall in for a base hit. Majeski gets it in. Chapman is going to hold up at second, of course. So Majeski gets his third hit of the day. So that's 11 hits now for the Athletics. And here's Valo. Valo 1 for 4. Kretlow still on the mound. 2 outs, 1 more out to get. But Valo see if Valo can keep the inning alive. Here's Elmer Valo with an 0-1 pitch, and Valo lines out to Don Callaway at second. and Detroit holds on to win 10-7 in a very good game. So here are your totals. Detroit scored 10 runs on 18 hits. They had one error and left 11 men on base. Philadelphia, 7 runs on 11 hits, one error. They left 8 men on base. Johnny Grove hit his 6th home run in the 5th inning off of Carl Scheib with 2 men on. And Vic Wertz hit his 5th home run in the 8th inning off Bill McCahan with 1 man on. 1 home run for the Athletics. Ferris Spain hit his first home run in the 5th inning off of Virgil Trucks with no base runners on. Player of the game is going to be Johnny Grove with a huge day at the plate. 4 for 5. He had 3 runs knocked in and scored 2 runs and raised his batting average to 346. Virgil Trucks gets the win. He goes 8. He's now 10-3. Carl Scheib is going to take the loss. He is now 4-2. So the Tigers maintain a 1-game lead now over the Philadelphia Athletics in this replay. So that'll do it for now. I'll be back soon with Brooklyn facing St. Louis in my 1949 replay. So until next time, goodbye for now, and thank you for joining me.